All right, 6 o'clock, let's call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, recognition.
All right, good evening. Welcome. Unfortunately, the people I want to recognize, 2 of them are out sick today, and the other one could not make it, but I still want to recognize and give them a shout out this evening. As you may recall, last month we celebrated Jose Rivera for his 1,000th point. We talked about some of the girls and boys basketball players. I just want to, I put a letter in the packet for the school committee to review, but both Coach Malone, our girls coach, and Coach Kinnan, Derek Kinnan, were both named Coach of the Year for this past season. They were honored last Tuesday at the All-Star game. And Jose was also named MVP for the year for the season. We had 8 students, 4 on the girls team and 4 on the boys team, who made the All-Star team. So again, a fantastic showing by both basketball teams. And I just wanted to fully recognize our coaches and our one outstanding player for a great season. I also want to commend Olivia Jane Grande and all of Stuco for their many successes this past week down in Hyannis. They earned, once again, for I believe the 10th year in a row, the Gold
Council of Excellence.
Gold Council of Excellence, and that is based largely on the Unity Week that we run every year at North Brookfield Junior Senior High School. So again, kudos to you, Olivia, kudos to Ms. Malone, kudos to Jake and the entire board for all your efforts. Once again, we made North Brookfield very proud, and that's on a state level. And only 65 or so schools who are recognized out of all the high schools in the Commonwealth. So it's quite an achievement. So congratulations again.
Nicely done. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? I move we approve the minutes.
Second.
Any questions or concerns about the minutes? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Public participation on agenda items. Communications.
I don't have any.
Okay. Southern Worcester County Educational Collaborative update.
So that's actually just a kind of placeholder for me. So next month, Mara Lunwell, who is the executive director, will be here at our meeting to give a very brief presentation about some of the projects that SWAC has going. Just want to keep it on everybody's radar. He was originally going to come this evening, but we have changed that, so he's going to come next month. Just give us a quick update.
Awesome. Can we get the student representative report?
Absolutely. It's again a bit of a smaller one, but we do have quite a bit to recognize and celebrate. As Mr. McCormick already mentioned. To start off, we had our winter sports pep rally on February 27th. And we held it at the end of the day to celebrate our basketball teams. We were very excited to celebrate the Girls Varsity League Championship win and Jose Rivera's 1,000 points. Last Friday, March 15th, we asked everyone to wear green in order to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And then earlier this month, our council sent 10 of our members to Cape Cod for our statewide Student Council Conference in Hyannis. There we participated in workshops, listened to 2 amazing keynote speakers, and participated in elections for next year's state board. This conference teaches members new leadership skills and helps us to improve as our council as a whole. This year we took home a few awards. Our 3 seniors, Jake Standrovich, Mary McGetchie, and I received the Commonwealth Award for excellence within our councils. And as Mr. McCormick mentioned, we also received the Gold Council of Excellence Award. This Friday, March 22nd, we will be holding the annual senior versus faculty basketball game at 6 p.m. in the high school gym. I'm going to be participating. Not going to be very great at it, but I am going to play basketball. And then the week before April vacation will be our Spring Spirit Week. We will have different themes for each day, and on Friday we will have our 7 through 12 class versus class lip sync competition. We're hoping to have the 6th graders there to watch. More information about Spirit Days and lip sync will come later. And then our conferences and field trips coming up is, the only one we have left for the year is our spring conference, which is April 4th at Uxbridge High School.
Awesome. Any questions for Olivia?
Or the topics given by the two keynote speakers?
So they were kind of more broad, but some of the biggest points from the first one was her definition of FAIL as an acronym was your first attempt in learning. And then our second keynote speaker was about being your authentic self and really like going for your goals and not just saying, putting your goals out there as I will do this, or not saying like I hope to do this, it's I will do this, and making your goals that way, which was amazing. He came out freestyle rapping, which was really cool and got the crowd very much engaged in the very beginning. So.
Nice.
Any other questions? Mr. Diorio does not hold a lot of hope for the faculty on this basketball. If you read his report, he doesn't like. He's not betting on the faculty to win this competition. It's making me almost want to come on Friday evening.
I am partial to the seniors winning. I mean,
Is Jose among the seniors?
he is.
Oh, there you go.
We have Jose, we have Lola Sukarev, and then there's Angie Fritz is our other from the girls varsity team, and then there's like Jose and 7 other boys that are seniors that played varsity basketball this year.
I'm just thinking you have to set the expectation a little bit better. That's all I'm saying.
They're loaded, though.
Mr. Ribney set some pretty strict rules, though. We can't have more than 3 varsity players on the court at a time, and 2 of them cannot be from the same team. So you can have 2, but your third can't be from the same team. So you can do like Jose and Colin and Lola, but you can't do Jose, Colin, and Anthony.
So you have to shop. Okay.
We're evening the playing field a little bit.
You want to tell us who your team's making them up?
And then we have Andy Karen reffing, so he's pretty fair. He does really good with the players who he knows don't know as much about basketball to be more lenient, whereas the people who he knows know the rules of basketball. He's very like you know what you just did, and he's gonna call you for it.
That is a very entertaining Friday night.
He refs my basketball game when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I can attest to his honesty as a basketball player. Based on my experience in the 4th grade.
He just had 40 years.
Yeah, just celebrated the 30th year as commissioner.
30th year?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's the 40th year for the.
Oh, I see, okay.
That was a.
We weren't able to attend.
Yeah, that was.
So I'm telling you, if you have nothing else going on Friday night, and even if you do, this is going to be a good event. You need to come and watch us. All right, school committee reports, regionalization update. We had a meeting a week or so ago and went over what the Desi had sent back to the attorney regarding the regionalization agreement. We sent back to Desi what the regionalization agreement questions that they had, our answers to that. I will say that there was 5 members of the committee there, which is the minimum necessary for a quorum. We hope that we will have an answer back from them so that we can meet again on the 26th, although it's really up to Desi. I've not heard anything back as to whether we received anything back from them or not, so that's the update on visualization. Are there any questions? Financial report.
Okay, so I've included monthly financial reports, including the transfers from the past month. If there are any questions.
Are there any questions on the financial report that was provided? Superintendent's report.
Okay. So the first part, I included those staff members, once again, who have left or being added to the district. We are pleased to announce that our new SLPA will be beginning this Friday, and then we have a new paraprofessionals coming on board at the elementary school as well on April 1st. I'm meeting with a teacher candidate tomorrow to offer a position as well, so we're constantly looking to bring new people on as if and when we do lose people for attrition. So kudos to Ms. Priestley, Mr. Gioria for interviewing people throughout the year. And again, I'll continue to update you on people who join our staff. The bigger part of tonight, my presentation this evening, I think it's something that we talked about back in the fall when we showed you guys and we showed the general public kind of where we were at with our MCAS results. This is looking at some of our MAP testing data. Now, MAP testing, just I'll kind of go through this. There's a lot of details in this, but I'm going to go through some of the major points. This presentation is in your packet. MAP stands for Measure of Academic Progress. It's a testing system or testing group that we've used now for multiple years, and they test our students, we test our students 3 times a year, so the fall, winter, and the spring. And what we're looking for essentially are 2 things, growth and achievement, okay? And our students are measured against students from across the country, and that's how this test is scored. So achievement is how well students perform in relation to their peers nationally, and growth shows how much improvement or regression a student made from one benchmark of time to the next. So like I said, there are 3 benchmarks over the course of the year, the fall, the winter, and the spring. So these are the fall and winter results. I want to just point out that we did, just to be fully transparent with our data, and I think our data overall has sort of some really good bright spots for us. We did have some missing students, some missing data. Not all of our high school students completed this test. Half of our students in grade 7, reading and math, did not take the fall of 2023 assessment. So growth data only accounts for 11 of the 22 students. So that I just want to be fully transparent with our total numbers. But moving to the first slide, first graph slide. This is a linear graph. This is our growth and achievement results from math. So looking at back at fall of 2022 to winter of 23, we only saw 32% growth from the fall to the winter. This year, so fall of 23 to winter of 24, our growth jumped to 67%. Okay, that's a huge improvement. So we saw an increase of 35% in growth over the course of our first 2 benchmark assessment cycles. Okay, we also saw an increase in achievement. So we saw 44% achievement last year. We saw 55% achievement this year over the same period of time. If you look at the bottom of this slide, in this scenario throughout this presentation, red is the lowest group. So red is the lowest percentile key. So it's the 1 through 20 percentile. Your green and your blue is where you want to see more movement. So the green is the 61st to 80 percentile, and the blue is above 80% or over. The next kind of graph I want to turn your attention to is the next slide, the growth and achievement quadrant for math.
Can I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
Sure.
So that increase, though, that we had half of the students not in that, right?
No, we were missing
I'm trying to understand. So half of the students in the 7th grade weren't in it. So what does that relate to this slide? I'm just trying to understand. So if we're comparing 2022, which had those 11 students in it, and then 2023 that didn't have those 11 students in it, and maybe 1 or 2 or whatever from other classes, or maybe we have 1 or 2 more from other classes. I'm trying to understand the differentiation. So it looks to me like that's a great improvement, and I'm happy to applaud that. I just want to understand, how does that relate to those students who weren't?
So it's fall of 22 to winter of 23, and then fall of 23 to winter of 24. And the bottom part of that slide, like I said, shows the growth and achievement. Yes, there were some missing high school students, but as we go further into some of this data, the majority of our results, our growth, was really at the elementary school. So the numbers that we're missing at high school level, our biggest areas of growth and achievement are at the elementary school right now. We had some pockets of growth at the high school, but it was more at the elementary school, so you're going to see that throughout.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
The quadrant graph, which was the next slide, and this I think really shows a really good story, a positive story. On the left, again, fall of 22 to winter of 23, and then on the right, fall of 22 to winter of 23, 24. It's, again, 4 categories. The right top quadrant is the high achievement, high growth, where you see our district average plus a lot of our singular grades have moved into that quadrant, okay, during the course of these past 2 benchmark assessments. And we're really seeing a lot of movement over that 50th percentile, which is, again, very positive direction for our students. So just some key observations on our math map. This is just our math map data to start. The district showed a 35 percentile gain in growth when compared to last year. So again, I think that's we want to really emphasize that. I'm really happy about that. And there's some reasons behind that we're going to discuss a little bit later. But all grade levels are moving towards the higher growth, higher achievement quadrant, which again is another really testament to our students and our teachers. Classrooms that are in the second year of using either Bridges or illustrative math curriculum show the most improvement of growth percentiles. So what those curriculums offer, more rigorous and engaging curriculum for our students, aligned with our state standards and what we're supposed to be doing at appropriate scope and sequence. It's really helping our students, and we're really seeing the dividends there. The percentage of students scoring the blue level, which is, again, is the 80 percentile or over, the achievement was consistent around 13% until the winter of 2024, where there are now 21% of our students scoring at this level. So almost a quarter of our students are scoring at that level. One of the other things that we still know that we need to work on is the lower student performers have remained low. So we need to figure out how do we move our lowest performing students up this quadrant, to the highest performing quadrant. So the number of students in the red level, so that's the first 20th percentile for achievement, has remained consistent each time around 15%. Moving to our next slide is our growth and achievement results for reading. So these results weren't as robust as our math results. Growth has jumped from 30 to 36 percentile, so it's still a plus 6% in growth. But our achievement has stayed fairly static at 47%. Okay? So we definitely realize that we have some areas of improvement here with our reading, and we have been addressing that this year. So we have some things to discuss as well with that. If you look at the next slide, which is, again, the quadrant breakdown, now the visual representation of the data, you still see some improvement, some growth and achievement, but it's not as widespread, not as, I would say, positive as our math data right now. So like I said, the percentile growth has slightly improved compared to last year, 30 to 36%. The number of students scoring in the red band, which is the 1 to 20th percentile for low growth, decreased from 42 to 33%. That is a good thing. So our number of students who are in that lowest performing band has gone down, but we recognize that 33% is still too high. And the percentile growth is below the median of 50. So that's another benchmark that MAP kind of identifies, is that you want to move all your students across that 50th percentile, at least to the 50th percentile. So our achievement decreased from 55 to 47 percentile, as I mentioned before. In general, the bands of achievement have remained consistent for each assessment period. So again, we're seeing it's fairly static right now with our reading, and we're looking to get some growth like we have with our math. I'm just going to have Ms. Priestley and Sadura just mention a few things. The next, I think, 6 or 7 slides are all either elementary or high school. So we'll start with you, Ms. Priestley, and then we'll go to Ms. Sadura.
Thank you. So the next slide are K1, 2, and 3. So there's a lot of data on this page, but the easiest way to look at it, and it's the same for all the slides subsequent, is the top band is the growth band. So that shows how much growth we've seen from fall to winter. And then the 2 smaller bands are the achievement in the fall and the achievement in the winter. So these are our math scores. And as we mentioned in the overall district glance, the math growth this year has been awesome. It's just been incredible. We expect to see, I think kindergarten is one of our higher grade levels that have lower growth. But we kind of expect to see that at kindergarten because our kindergartners come in with varying levels of readiness. So catching them all up to the same level is kind of the task of the kindergarten teachers every year. But it's still, I mean, we're still 27% of students are in that 80 or above percentile of growth. So it just kind of shows you that this program that we're using and the way teachers are implementing it is it's really something. And as mentioned earlier, teachers and students who are in their second year of the program are showing the most growth. So if you could actually advance a slide. If you look at grade 4, we have 74% of our fourth graders showed growth in the 80% or more percentile. Like, that is incredible. And what's great about that is grade 4 is a grade level that piloted this program last year. So this is their second year doing it. This is also the student's second year of exposure to it. So we see that it helps create and build a foundation of conceptual understanding for math that carries year to year to year. And so our teachers are really excited to see this data because it's really showing that as we stick with it, as we have really strong implementation of the program, as we build those foundational skills from kindergarten and up, we're going to start to see this throughout all of our grade levels over time. So that was just a huge shout out to Mrs. Peterson, who's our grade 4 math teacher. We gave her a nice round of applause at our meeting this afternoon. But all of our grade levels are doing really well with their math progress, so we're really proud of that.
Okay, in the high school, so we had some really nice areas of growth and achievement in grades 9 and 11. And then we did see high growth in grades 7, 8, and 10. Our achievement's a little low, which is, achievement is how well we did against our peers nationally. Couple of the same as Ms. Priestley mentioned, students who are in their second year of a lesson of math are really showing growth. Also in 9th grade, we have an algebra support class, which helped our 9th grade students quite a bit. Another thing that we did in the high school, as far as math goes, is we did lesson studies, which sort of built upon the math program and the work with our math coach, Mr. LaFountain. So that really helped a lot as far as that goes as well. And then for us, a couple of challenges we have is we have two things we're looking at right now. One is trying to get more buy-in from our students. And so what we're finding is the students feel like, well, it doesn't count, it doesn't matter, the grades don't matter because it's not a graded assessment. They really don't put in their best effort. So I think one of our focuses already and moving into next year is going to be trying to make sure we get more buy-in from our students to take these tests more seriously so we can get a better idea of where they're at. The other thing we're looking at too is better use of a flex block. How can we use that flex block to better support our students? When we get to ELA, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but those are two areas we've already started to look at is how we can improve our scores in those areas.
So the next slide is K1, 2, and 3 scores for this year for reading. So again, the top band being the growth from fall to winter, and the two shorter bands, the achievement from fall and the achievement from winter. Not as great as our math scores, certainly. We recognize as a staff that the program that we're using isn't really aligned with what the research says are best practices for reading, especially for foundational skills, which kind of this data validates the work of our literacy leadership committee that is looking to adopt a new literacy program. So we do implement a phonics and a phonemic awareness program that is very solid, but that's only one piece of the puzzle. We need a program that has strong language building skills, knowledge and content building as part of that, and reading comprehension. So that's what we've been looking at this year. If you go on to 4, 5, and 6, the numbers are all kind of very similar. Again, grade 4 probably shows the most promising data, which happens to be the grade level that we are piloting the curriculum that we're looking to move to. And we've been using that program all year with grade 4, and they are really shining. They are making a phenomenal progress under that program, and of course the instruction of the teacher. But where it kind of validates that this is the right course of action.
So when does the possibility of a new reading curriculum come in?
Well, we put it into the budget for next year, so, providing that we can move forward with that, we'd like to get, some training for our teachers on the new program and implement that starting in the fall.
High school,
So,
again,
I'm sorry.
sorry.
I'm sorry. When does that come to the committee for approval for the curriculum? Because one of the things the committee does is approve the curriculum, so.
I can bring it forward next month.
Okay.
We've been, as Ms. Tracy just mentioned, I mean, her team has been looking at multiple different versions of programs all year.
Yeah.
And they are the one that I really think is what we need for our students, so.
Yeah, just, I want to make sure that we, thank you. Perfect. Sorry, go ahead.
High school, we struggled, our ELA scores were not that great. We did have two bright spots, grades 10 and grade 11. They did very well with their achievement and growth. Our middle school really struggled, especially grades 7 and 8. So some things we're going to do for that. We've already started thinking about next year for that as well. We don't have a curriculum in the high school that, they can use in the elementary school. So I've already sat down with our school counselor, Ms. Pelletier, we're looking at scheduling an enrichment block specifically to target ELA instruction to help support those students. And then in the high school, again, more effective use of our enrichment block or flex block in the high school to make sure that those students are being supported the way they need to. But grades 10 and 11, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Hatch. Really did a nice job there, and his scores show as far as that goes as well.
So the last couple slides, discussion and conclusions, I think that all three of us have said this, that we've seen some real improvement to our math scores. We're very, very proud of that. I think, as both Mr. Priestley and Mr. Dewey mentioned, having Bridges and Lusher now in year 2 has been a big reason for that. We focus on our appropriate pacing of our curriculum, and that those two curriculums allow for that. We've increased our time on math instruction to 80 minutes a day at the elementary school level, and we've developed intervention times at both schools that support some of our math students. And I can't understate this enough, that we've had a lot of buy-in and success now with our math instructional coach, Mr. LaFountain, who has really been very instrumental in a lot of this growth. He has worked with all our math teachers pretty much daily. He meets with them individually, meets with them in small groups, common planning time at the high school, our math leadership team at the elementary school, and like Ms. Priestley mentioned, he models good teaching. He talks about what you can do to extend activities in classrooms, so that role has really been key in moving these scores forward. And the hope with both math and reading is that we're going to see this translate to increased MCAS scores. Like we mentioned in the fall, MCAS scores, we still have some places to increase. And this real-time benchmark data kind of shows us that we're doing some really good stuff, especially with math right now, that we're hopefully going to see this summer and next fall when we get those final results. That's the end result. That's what we want to see. And that's how we move forward. Again, we mentioned this, that we're still looking at our curriculum for reading. I think Ms. Priestley's team's done a fantastic job of looking at all different types of models and see what fits best for our students and for our teachers. At the junior senior high school level, in district-wide, we spent a lot of time last year and this year looking at our curriculum. What are we teaching and why? And is what we're teaching aligned to our state standards? And our two principals have spent a lot of time in staff meetings, curriculum hours, and PD, allowing teachers and working with teachers on making sure that curriculum is aligned on a common template that we can all access, and that parents and students know what they're learning. What's the plan for their learning? And how does that learning kind of move forward as they progress from grades K through 12. Again, we want to see in the next year, our hope is to see similar growth and improvement for our reading students, our reading scores as well. So, we like to come back and show some more of these results in the future, but I think this is something that, I wanted to highlight some of the growth here, and that we're making some positive gains towards, increased student achievement, but also increase test scores for our students as well.
Any other questions? It looks good to me. I mean, you know, I don't know all the concept behind all the testing, but it seems like we're getting positive traction, so congratulations to those involved. Anything else on the superintendent's report, Mr. McCormick? No, that's it.
Did you go over the part in regards to some of the kids who were scoring lower, the ones who were struggling more? So there's more of there's a lot of questions here, so is this something that's going to be addressed among who? The special ed teachers or? Analyze instructional practices for students that are scoring at lower levels.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good question. I mean, we're doing that for all teachers. It's not just responsibility of special ed teachers or their support staff, it's all teachers, right? And you know how, you look at tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 levels of instruction. We want to make sure that the general teachers are using best practices for all students, and that the students who are still struggling are getting the appropriate supports from either their special ed teachers, their one-to-one, their para support, or if they're pull-ups. What other services can we provide to those students? So it's not just, let's inundate our special ed teachers and have them fix all of our stuff. No, that's not how it works. We want to make sure that all of our teachers are doing what's best for our kids, but special ed teachers play a very critical role in that they can support what's going on in the general ed classroom.
Administrators' reports. Yours is first in the packet, Mr. Bueller, so if you want to go first.
You want me to go? All right.
I'm just saying you're first in the packet. I don't know
All right.
the packet because you can blame them, but you know.
All right. On March 12th, we celebrated our Wellness Day for students. That was a huge success. I want to thank Ms. Pelletier for putting this together. Wellness Day is dedicated to students' mental, social, emotional, and physical well-being. The Wellness Day allowed students to take a break from academics by participating in activities that supported their overall health and well-being. Some of the things we had were yoga, martial arts, dancing, Zumba, knitting, coloring, board games, origami. Those are just a few of the things we did. And basically the day centered around promoting awareness around mental health by taking part in activities that focus on having fun, relaxing, staying active, and being part of the community. The students were able to connect with each other and their teachers in a new way that strengthened their relationships. One of the big parts, the reason we want to do this is to build those positive relationships between our staff and our students, beyond the academics. So we're trying to create that sense of belonging for every student in this building. Again, special thanks to Ms. Pelletier for making this a huge hit. March 14th, our seniors toured FlexCom Corporation to learn about employment opportunities with them. This is something that Superintendent McCormick and myself have been working on, part of the work-based learning, innovative pathways program. Tomorrow, they're going to tour Vibram, and then next week, they'll have 2 more tours with Vibram as part of the work-based learning pilot program. After the tours, our students are going to have the opportunity to apply for the work-based learning internships with these companies for the 4th quarter. Our hope is that these students will be offered a full-time job upon completion of the program. So the students do an internship. We already have 3 or 4 that voiced an interest in FlexCom. And by the way, these are 2 of the students are going to college, and so their hope is to do the internship and then continue to work there through college. We already talked about March 22nd, the staff versus student basketball game at 6 p.m. It's definitely going to be a tough game for the staff, so I hope everyone comes out to support the team. We really want to pack the house. March 28th is another big event for us. It's Career Day for students in grades 7 through 12. Right now we have almost 25 representatives from all types of career fields. Students will have an opportunity to meet with the people who are actively working in their field and find out what it takes to be successful. I know we reached out to some North Brookfield graduates too that'll be here to talk to our students. I actually reached out to Kelly Sullivan. I don't know if you watch Fox 25 News, but she's a TV personality. We've been going back and forth, and so she'll be here to speak to our students as well about her career in broadcasting. And of course, my ultimate goal is hopefully she'll put us on TV and we'll get some press out of this. So fingers crossed that that'll work out for us. And then I really want to invite everybody. We want to make this a big community event. I've been working with Ms. Priestley, Mr. McCormick. May 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. we want to do sort of celebration of learning, and also geared towards mental health for not just our students, but all our community and family members. We're really excited to have actor and motivational speaker John Morello. He's going to be there to perform his play. It's called Dirt. It's really great. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen it online. If you have a chance to look him up, he's fantastic. And the night is going to be dedicated to the social emotional needs of all our students and their families. I want to give a big shout out to Hope Brzezinski and the DA's office for their support and their work with the grants for this opportunity. And that's all I have for tonight.
So I'd like to say that I did not know who John Morello was, but when I read your report, I actually went out and looked online and watched what I did not realize was a 9-minute video. That's supposed to be doing other things. Anyway, very, very enticing. So I would encourage you strongly, if you have any thought about whether you should or should not attend, go look at his website. It's johnmorello.com, or go to YouTube and type in his name. You'll get a lot of videos with pieces of his performance, and it's something that I think everybody can benefit from. I was very impressed. I thought that this is a great opportunity not only for our students, but members of our community to come in and get a feel for some of the topics that he's going to cover. He starts off with saying, I'm not a teacher, I'm not preaching to you, I'm actually going to perform. Basically, he's a one-man show, and he performs based on different characters and their experiences dealing with some of these issues that we all deal with. So I would strongly encourage anyone who's at all interested, look him up, and if you think it's a good fit for you, come watch the performance. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. So.
Yeah, thank you.
It's free.
Strongly, I think
It's free. It's
it's
free.
awesome.
Right?
Yeah, it's free. So I think it's, if you get the time on May 8th, even if you don't have the time, make the time. Come watch. It's something you'll never forget.
So speaking of YouTube, we're on TV right now. We're out on YouTube. It could be watched by billions.
Yeah.
Probably won't be, but it could. It could happen. every video starts with one view.
Yeah. All right. Bruce Lee, I think you're next.
Sure. A few things on my school committee report. As we mentioned when we reviewed the math growth data, our math leadership committee has been reviewing that data in depth and discussing it, talking about the implications for future work for our committee, where we would like to see our math instruction go. The literacy leadership committee, as we said, has been reviewing the data from our pilots, from the curriculum programs we're looking at, as well as continuing to investigate best practices related to the science of reading. Kindergarten enrollment is up and running, so Ms. Dresden is reaching out to all the kindergarten families, but certainly if you have a child that's going to be 5 as of August, I think, 28th, give us a call and get them enrolled. We also have our testing dates posted. Those will be shared with families on Class Dojo as well as we get closer, but ELA we have the week of April 8th. Math, we have the week of May 13th, and our science and technology is just grade 5, and that is the week of May 20th. The last item on here was the Read Across America Community Readers Day, so thank you to everyone who came to read to our classrooms. Read Across America is a nationwide event that celebrates everything reading. We celebrated it on Friday, March 1st, it's typically on March 2nd, it's a Saturday. So we had some school committee members, we had some police officers, the librarian, I believe we had the bank. I put that in there because I'm pretty sure that one of our reps from the NBSB came, and then the members of the admin team also. So thank you to everybody who read. The last thing I wanted to mention that's not on our agenda, not on the report, is the Earth Day that we're planning for April. It's the Friday before April break. We plan every year our Earth Day celebration, very much like Camp Read a Lot, only we celebrate things that are science related or environmental related. So we're looking forward to that event for community members coming in and running some of those events. That'll be exciting.
That's it for me.
Any questions?
Are you doing Stomp Rockets?
Yeah,
Canada?
so if anyone knows a place, because the Boy Scouts don't do the bottle drive anymore.
We need bottles.
So we need 2-liter soda bottles
And cans, aluminum cans. We will take
and
all of
aluminum
those
cans.
cans.
So,
Yeah.
just put the word out there for that. We need, usually like, last year I got by with 2 bags. Previous years I had 4 bags that I just paid the Boy Scouts for, like the approximate value of
They did
them,
their
the
bottle
deposit.
Yep.
So that's something that we need. I still have the ones from last year because I figured like.
Reuse them,
I don't know
right?
what to come back to, so I was using an air compressor to refill them. So I can get by if needed. But it'd be nice to have some
For sure.
more structurally sound, as structurally sound as plastic 2-liter bottles go. So tell your friends, I like 2-liter bottles.
All right. Mrs. Down.
So I'm going to start my report this time with an update on our English language learners. The testing reports, there's the WIDA testing, which the students are given every year to look at their growth in their language acquisition, has been completed by our new ELL teacher, Kaylin LaChapelle. And she has adjusted her groupings based on the new data. And she is just flying into everything, and she's doing a marvelous job. For special education, believe it or not, people, we've already begun planning for extended year services. We have our first list already completed. We all know that this is going to change as IEP meetings come up and different children qualify or come off, but we have a working list to go from. The current, so the list will be what will drive the program scheduling and most important, the staffing needs. And tentative dates for ESY as of now are July 8th through August 9th. Preschool teachers and our school psychologist, Deb Culberson, have worked together to refine the parent interview questionnaire used when a child is referred for a preschool initial evaluation. This is really our parents' first introduction into our preschool program. The document has generated positive feedback from parents, and staff has found the information garnered from the questionnaire has aided in the preparation for the play-based assessment. So when our preschoolers come in to assess them, we actually have a team of people watching one staff member guide a child through their play routines. And a shout out to Caitlin Brenovich, our new administrative assistant. Since she has started, she's completed a spreadsheet with all of the IEP information needed for real-time updating of information needed to track compliance and services. So instead of having to toggle back between a number of different sheets, it's a one-stop shop, which is amazing. And she has also implemented a system that enables liaisons to have quick and easy access to team meeting folders, including the fact that liaisons no longer have to worry about making copies, multiple copies of their own assessments. So that's it for me. Any questions?
Are there any questions?
I have a question in regards to the loss of the special ed teacher. What is the plan for the children who receive services at?
Do you want to take that? You
Sure.
want me to-
So we're in the process of hiring a special ed teacher, so that will depend on her start date. So once we know.
So is that the person you were saying you were, I don't think you said special ed, you just said teacher, so I
I
wasn't
said
100%.
teacher,
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure.
So we'll have a plan in place once we know what her start date will be.
Any other questions? Technology update is in your packet. Are there any questions regarding that?
No.
and the facilities update is in your packet also. Are there any questions regarding that? Okay, moving back to the agenda then, I believe the old business is the MBES basement inventory update. So the update that we got for the inventory, the column that actually says what the item is cut off, and we weren't able to get that updated for this meeting. So I assume that.
I did speak with Ms. Adams through email, she's gonna give it to us this week.
Yeah, so I just, it's not an issue, I just think that, you know, we'll bring it back at next month's meeting, and we'll just, you know, make sure that we can understand what the item is, and just for the viewing audience, because I don't want them to think I'm like being difficult about this. I think the first item on the agenda, on the list is 2008 emergency something. I have no idea what this is.
15 of them.
But there are 15 of them, so whatever they are, it's important, you know, so whatever. And I'm not making fun of anybody, I know, I've done this myself, printing out an Excel spreadsheet, not realizing that the first cell is not fully expanded so that you can't read it, so I do it myself. So all I'm saying is that we can't really do anything with that until we get that column expanded out so we can see it. There's nothing under policies. Under new business, we have the 2024-2025 school calendar. I assume that everybody in the committee has read through the calendar. Is there any questions on the calendar? Can I get a motion to approve the calendar? I'm sorry, I should have done that first before I asked for questions. Can I get a motion to approve the calendar?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions on the calendar? Let's do it in the right order.
Why are there so many days?
Why there's so many days? Sorry, kids, we can't make it shorter. Sorry, I can't help you. All those in favor? Opposed? There is nothing under executive session. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, sorry, prior to the motion to adjourn. We are trying to put a meeting together for, there's an issue that was raised through social media regarding bullying, and I believe that we are trying to get a meeting scheduled, or we will have a meeting scheduled for next Monday, where the administrators can attend, LPAC can attend, and so those folks who were hoping for that, because we had thought maybe we'd be able to do it as early as this Wednesday, we are not able to because of scheduling. So for those folks who were interested in that particular topic, the meeting will be next Wednesday, next Monday at 6 o'clock. Now I'll entertain the motion to adjourn.
So wait, let's say the date, so that's March 25th.
Okay,
Yeah.
next Monday, March 25th.
So moved to adjourn.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We'll see you on March 25th. Thank you.